What's up, everybody? I'll say it one more time in case you didn't hear me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, Nestlemania alongside for the ride is a man that has never in his life lost a pose down, JC. That was most muscular for the people that don't have video.
It's funny. I didn't even purposely not wear sleeves.
It's a muscle tank. I think that the Razorback tanks are probably the best for the most muscular, but that's fine.
Well, absolutely. I can't
Sun's
pull
out,
those off as like a Wardlow or a Theory or a Lashley could, but you know, we do what we can here in the JC household. But Nestlemania, that intro is good, but know what intro would be better? Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet for the ring general and the new Intercontinental Champion, Gunther.
This was like a JC hope in like 3 months ago. And then you put it in again and it came true. All I could think about was you running around in your underwear, getting so excited about this.
My underwear.
I don't know. You just seem like a guy that doesn't wear any clothing when you're living by yourself.
Well, I mean, I do. I live alone, so I could, but it's one of those things. It's like, I usually just wear shorts around the house, you know?
I can just see you doing the Gunther, you know.
I do more of the one with them.
Oh, you do the more Ludwig?
Yeah, but no, it's honestly like this was something that made sense at the beginning. We talked about Ricochet's my boy. I love him. He's one of my favorite wrestlers to watch, like on the planet, period. He's just the guy's a fucking highlight factory. And I was thrilled when he won the IC title, but I always saw it as like, this is going to transition us, I think, to the next great dominant heel. Because in the meantime, Ricochet can just hold it and put on fun matches, whatever. But it's like the minute Gunther and Ludwig got to SmackDown, I was like, that's your IC champion. And I've said this before, and I kind of did when I made this my hope, whatever, hashtag JC knows, hashtag JC hopes come true, is that Gunther is like the perfect type of character to hold this title and elevate it for, hell, he could hold this thing for like a year if they really wanted to. Like, it's one of those things, like, I love, like, the mid-card heels when they have these long reigns of terror, like how Rusev did with the U.S. title. Like, we see it all the time with these big monster heels, these dominant heels. They can really elevate a mid-card title and make it feel like this unstoppable force has it. So it's like, who's going to actually dethrone him? It takes, like, a Super Cena or something, you know? And even when you come out in a tank, Super Cena still gives you the FU. But that's why I was excited for this. And I hope Gunther and Ricochet aren't finished because I love that match. I think the stylistic matchup is fun. I love when Ricochet works with some powerhouses. Gunther has proven that he can fly around the ring a little bit too for a big man. He's obviously in phenomenal shape now. He's completely changed his body and his tone and everything since he's come to America full-time in NXT and now on SmackDown. So I'm looking forward to this reign. I think Ludwig's the perfect manager / sidekick / tag team partner / like enforcer on the outside for him. It just like, it's a fun pairing. And right now on SmackDown, where you're in this world where you have a part-time world champion who is back this week, we'll talk about later. It's good to have someone who I feel like you can put in the main event and get away with it every now and then, week to week.
That's a great point. I mean, I really love everything about it, but the thing that drove me like to the moon with it was just the minute he won, he immediately put that thing around his waist. And I just went, oh yeah.
He's old school, man.
Like,
everything about
no
Gunther
throwing over the shoulder, no dragging it like Austin, right around the waist. And it was just like, and then he did the pose. And it was like, it was meant to be his. And, you know, not that, you know, Ricochet didn't do anything. He did a great job, but they didn't give him, well, we all want him, You know what I mean? Like we wanted him on every pay-per-view. We wanted him on, highlighted more. And now it's like, there's no excuse to not put Gunther on anything because, and he's going to beat up everybody. I don't know who could beat him, but he is not my kind of guy. Like I'm not interested in Gunther per se.
Me either, but this like revitalization has made me interested.
Right. And I think that's the ability. So here's the thing. Like I know I make the joke all the time. Walter was all about chops. Like he was just brutal. Like I know there was more to it, but that was my go-to joke. And yes, Gunther is Walter, like I get that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, when we get past the chops, this is when I get excited. But when we rely on the chops, when we rely on that crap, I get turned off. But this was more of a like, all right, here's his definitive moment. Let's go from there and let's build this dude up because he could build into something amazing, like absolutely, positively amazing. And I don't know if he's going to be WWE champion in a year, maybe 2. I don't know, but he's done a great job. And everybody was like, oh, the name change is going to kill him. I mean, obviously he just proved y'all wrong. So, I mean, he's doing his work. He's doing his work. And of course, Ludwig gets, the bonus, the assist on everything. And it's just, I think it's great. And I think like, there's a reason this starts off the shine because it is the most shine-worthy thing that happened this week.
Absolutely. And before we move on quickly, I just want to say one thing that I really like about Gunther is that I feel like he's always had that right mentality. Even like when he was the NXT UK champion for like ever, like I appreciated him because he was amazingly talented. But like you said, he wasn't one of my favorite guys. He's not like the type of guy that like I go to because he seemed kind of like just boring. And yeah, he was good in the ring, this and that, and dominant, but there was nothing extra to him. But the one thing that slowly made me kind of appreciate this man more is I like to read like interviews like guys do when they just talk about things. And like he had the best attitude about the name change. He's like, dude, I don't care what they call me. He's like, I'm excited for this opportunity. And another thing he said was like, he always had kind of a little bit of like a flubby dubby there on the tummy. But he said, he's like, the reason why I had that is because when I watched like old school wrestling, a lot of the bigger guys, they had a little bit of that. And I thought that was a cool look. And I loved that. But he's like, when I was transitioning to America and looking at the body types in NXT and WWE, I was like, the game has changed. And these bigger guys, like everyone's in super shape now. So he's like, I need to get in super shape if I want to get to the next level. So it's little things like that. And like his awareness about the industry, his appreciation for the history, his work ethic. I just think like this guy's going to succeed, whatever he wants to do. And Vince is going to love a guy like this because he loves, especially that big, like European badass. Like that's what Gunther is. And that's why it's a perfect fit for the IC title right now. And I'm excited for this reign.
Anything else, or would you like to move on to something else?
Let's move on, baby.
Let's move on, baby. I got to say, look, there was a lot on SmackDown that was iffy. So on Raw, something that had me kind of just excited was Money in the Bank season, right? Like we're in the groove. But the one thing that really stuck out to me, and I think we can probably expand upon this or expound, whatever you want to say. There was a sit-down interview with Seth Rollins where he got in there and talked about all the things he was going to do. And then he talked about how, here's the thing that perked my interest, JC. And I'm curious, we talked about this last week, but he said, man, I'm going to win that Money in the Bank. And not only that, but we're going to top what I did at WrestleMania. And I was like, see, I love that. First off, I love any sit-down interview. I don't care who it is. I like the idea of taking something different and moving it. Like, I love that. I love that portion of it. And KP's doing a great job. But the one thing that I really loved about the one and only Seth freaking Rollins was that we're just sitting there and we're enjoying him talking. Like, that's hard to do. And I don't want to call people on the carpet, but there's like, so some people out there that say that, Seth Rollins isn't main event worthy or saying him, not a top guy. And all I could think about was while he's talking, I'm saying, I'm watching him talk. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the most compelling television in the 3 hours that we have here. Of course, AJ comes in later and beats him up.
For Cody,
we set that up. But the whole no remorse thing, the whole, like, I've got to do what I've got to do now thing, like, I appreciate it. And I think that he was so cold for so long. Like, there was like that weird period where like he wasn't in the main event. It was like right around Royal Rumbles when he started to get like really good last year or earlier this year.
Yeah, when they started this like mystery opponent storyline.
Yeah, I think that's where he kind of took off again. And it's proven that the guy, no matter what he does, he delivers. And not just delivers, he over delivers.
Yeah, and the one thing that you touched on that is the point for me that caught my attention was him says he wants to do something bigger than he did last time. And it's like, well, to do that, the moment in terms of like how it went and like the two guys you beat, like I don't know if we can get to that level, but something to like memorable was immediately I think of A, if he defeated Roman Reigns, that would be memorable. But B, if he ruined Cody's moment. To me, that could be a moment that maybe could, when we look back, be bigger with how big this Cody storyline has been and the fervor for it and everything. Especially if when Cody comes back, if he wins the Rumble at WrestleMania and wins that title at WrestleMania, and out comes fucking Seth and ruins it for him or something. Like it just like that could be something we could remember just as much, if not more, as when Seth cashed in and made it a triple threat and won the title at WrestleMania. So that was something that definitely got my attention because we've been kind of talking about this for a little, like pretty much since Cody came back, that like if Cody isn't winning Money in the Bank, Seth makes perfect sense because these two guys are like linked, especially until Cody wins that title. Like they're linked. So Seth holding that trump card would be perfect. So that's the part that I really focused on, which excites me.
Yeah, and again, I hate to say power couple, but the other flip side of the coin here was that Becky Lynch cut a scathing promo where she was pointing out, the one thing that's eluded me my entire life, and every time I'm in it, I lose it. I want to be back, Becky in the bank. I went, you know what? It makes sense. I mean, obviously, we can talk about the other people that actually qualified for these matches.
Lacey, Liv, and Alexa, baby.
I mean, they're all. I mean,
hashtag Team JC.
I know, right? They're all under a certain criteria there for good old JC.
They're all blondes, which we know Vince loves too. So
yeah. So beside that point, so like Lacey Evans, we don't know what the fuck she's doing. She's there. She had a match against Xia Li. I'm not going to even count that.
Did you see in the graphic, she's already holding the briefcase, which I think is hilarious. Just the way they made the graphic, the briefcase is in front of her and her hands like this, so it looks like she's carrying it.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty funny. It's obviously, I don't think it was intentional, but it's a funny little thing if you look at the graphic.
So Becky Lynch to me makes me feel like that would be a fun one.
Ding, ding, ding.
And I think that's a fun. Favorite. And then I think Becky in the bank would be fun because I think that's an easy way to go against Ronda, obviously. And I think that's an easy way to fuck Ronda over because we'll probably talk in another different part of the show about Ronda Rousey and how I think she's floundering again. But Becky Lynch might need to spark that because here's the thing. I'm probably gonna sound like a jackass like I normally do. But I feel like Ronda Rousey is only good when Becky Lynch is against her. Like there is nobody that can bring out anything in Ronda Rousey. Like Ronda Rousey is a dragon who can just swat away people half asleep. But she fully wakes up when Becky Lynch is across from her. She's the only one that she wakes up for. Everything else that Ronda Rousey does feels like she's doing it as a part of a chore. Versus when Becky Lynch is across the ring from her, she wakes the fuck up.
I think your idea of that is correct, but I think it's also that obviously, like we know Becky can character-wise bring out the best in most women, but I think it's just the majority of time we've seen Ronda, she's been a babyface, and we agree that is the drizzling shits, and that's what she is again right now. But I feel like if they unleashed a heel Ronda against a babyface Bianca, that would be fucking amazing. You know what I mean? So I feel like there are other avenues. It wouldn't be just Becky, but Becky and Ronda obviously have the history from the beginning, so that makes sense. But if my pick for her to win Money in the Bank, I don't think Becky and Ronda are even going to cross paths, maybe till like around Survivor Series, they start to tease it. I think until then, it's more likely that Becky wins that and fucking ruins Bianca's day one more time. They run that back at SummerSlam one last time and to finish that off before we even get there. So, because I feel like a lot of the times when we do the Money in the Banks, like one of them's usually more immediate. One of them maybe hangs around a while. And I feel like, especially if we think Seth's going to win, he's probably going to be carrying that around for a while. So it makes me think the women's might be more immediate. Like granted, they might do a short-term thing because you have both the couples with the briefcases, but I feel like Becky would be SummerSlam or before cash-in for the woman. And I think she makes the most sense for that because I'm looking at down the roster. I'm like, if Lacey wins, like maybe, but I don't think that'd be immediate. But I look at Becky and I'm like, they could make her champion again tomorrow if they wanted to. I don't want them to because I want to see this Bianca Rhea thing get a little legs here because I think that's going to be exciting. But I don't know. I don't think Asuka's going to win. I know they're fighting next week to both qualify, but as we saw with the match on SmackDown, that those two are probably going to get in. I bet you these two will probably still get in somehow. There's 4 slots left. I don't think they're going to be putting like the Xia Lees, the Shotzi's, and the Aaliyahs in there. Maybe one of them gets in, but you're just looking down the roster. It's like Becky, Asuka, Naomi, and Sasha aren't walking through that door. So it's like to keep Becky and Asuka out would be quite a tall task.
And I agree with you on that. It's funny to me when you think about it because Becky Lynch has done such a great job. But the other thing that I really hate is that every woman's Money in the Bank cash in feels so quick that like I have yet to like Bailey was either the same night and then I think Nikki Ash was the night after.
Yep.
Alexa Bliss
was the same night.
Same night, you know. So like you're getting. I mean, Carmella
held it till I think right before SummerSlam because then she defended it against Charlotte. So she held it a couple months. But yeah, no, most of the women's in the history I think have been pretty immediate.
And I get that. But I think Becky Lynch could be the other side of this. Like she could go the other route, you know, but I don't know. She could make it interesting. I just think that there's certain things that you need to do. Like if you're going to get, I like the idea of if you're going to treat women the same, like put them in the main event, you're going to make the titles, you know, the men's and the women's titles equal, then let's make this part equal. Let's not just like, I like that there'd be two, because here's the thing. Why wouldn't you want 2 Money in the Bank briefcases for later on in the year, and as we talk about the lull that is September through November?
Oh, I agree, but
you know, and
we've seen they don't like them both on the same show historically.
And I don't disagree with you.
If Sethi,
you might as well.
Beckett are our picks, then they both be on
Sethies.
The Sethies.
Sethi Rollins Lynch. Yeah. Little League Lynch. So
Sethi Rollins. There you go.
He probably would love that. We went off on a fucking tangent again, but whatever. But so yes. Anything else you'd like to talk about, Shineworthy?
Yeah, I have a couple of AJ Seth might have been the match of the week, but if not, I think I really enjoyed. I know these weren't as long, but Gabriel Ali and Riddle Ciampa I thought were both standout matches that I enjoyed because they're fresh matchups. They're guys that we know can go, and I like when guys who are like don't always get featured in. These obviously weren't short matches. They weren't long matches. They're in the middle, but I like when we get to see like a guy like Ciampa actually work a little. Ali and Gable's a super fresh matchup with, like Corey Graves said, 2 of the better technicians. It's nice to see that mixed in because, you know, we make fun of like WWE's all sports entertainment. WWE also does have great pro wrestling, as y'all like to call it too. And I thought these 2 matches kind of featured that.
I loved Ali Gable, and I thought none of these were jobber alerts. They were just over, not shy.
They were medium matches. They were medium.
They were definitely enhancement-ish, but it doesn't matter because Ali, they goes to the story. It's fine. I'll ignore that one. Seth and AJ had a great match. I was hoping that was going to be the main event. Of course, we had to oil guys up in the 3rd hour. That's okay. But that whatever it is, with the meaty men slapping meat, but that's fine. And then, of course, you know, Ciampa in the Miz. So I would just like to I'm going to give myself the old Barry Horowitz. I hope this
doesn't actually happen. I hope you just cursed it.
The Barry Horowitz pat on the back. That's for people who actually know what jobbers are, because that's a 90s. Never mind. Nobody cares.
Nestle's showing his age.
I think I have gray hairs. I can't tell. Can you tell?
Should I get Max Dupree on you and get nice and close?
Do I have gray hairs? I probably do. I can't tell. I have children. They must have given me gray hairs. So anyway, the Barry Horowitz, because I have talked about weeks how Ciampa is connective tissue to the Miz, yet we're still dancing around this topic here that this is like
Miz put him over hard on commentary.
He did. And he was talking about like how vicious he was and how he did all these awesome things. And of course, you know, he lost the matchup because Riddle can't lose up until he, you know, loses to the Tribal Chief because, you know, a couple of wins equal a Tribal Chief loss. But still, like, I was watching this going, I have to be onto something. I don't have to be right, but I have to be onto something, right? Don't you think, JC? Because this is like the 4th or 5th time they've been in the same segment. And again, I hopefully Ciampa, you know, biased aside, he took like pretty gnarly floating bro on that. It looked like his knee or his thigh or something. That looked just dreadful. I don't know if Riddle's starting to be a problem in terms of hurting people, but that was rough. And then Ciampa took the RKO, we're out. And so all I could think about was, it's so much fun when you think about the Miz, because the Miz is doing so many things, and like Ciampa and the Miz, like Ciampa's here, the Miz is over here, but the Miz does the sports entertainment.
He's a perfect mouthpiece for Ciampa. Because look, Ciampa can cut good promos, but I think I would kind of have the same reaction to like his voice and the way he talks, the kind of Vince would, where it's like, it's not like full Cesaro, but it's not like a dominant promo. Like what Ciampa says is good. His pace is good, but like just his sound isn't as,
it's nasal.
Probably ideal as Vince would want. So starting him off with a guy like The Miz, who kind of could make Ciampa his heavy, I kind of like it. And, the Miz, as we know, is untouchable. And he doesn't even need to wrestle anymore at this point. He can just go out there and entertain. So if you can use his entertainment to kind of elevate Ciampa, I think that's a match made in heaven.
I'm just excited to see where this goes because I feel like Ciampa could really benefit from it. And I think the Miz could get more life into himself again. I think it works for everybody because
Miz and Mrs. is out there fucking crushing Meltzer's heart in the ratings, like curb stomping Rampage. So Miz and Mrs. The Miz is doing just fine.
When you're what did he say? He's like the most highly rated original programming on the USA Network. I'm like,
except for Raw.
Right. I just love how many qualifiers he has to have to be in the category of his own, which I'm sure he's the only original content. But
if you don't watch it and you just enjoy entertainment, the Miz and Maurice are fucking incredible, and their fucking family of loonies. It's good television.
Oh, that's where he came from, so he obviously knows what he's doing. So yeah, and plus we want to be friends with the Miz, so that's okay.
Who doesn't?
Right. Something else that I thought was well, not necessarily good or bad. I think it's probably shine worthy for you, JC, but I'm curious your thoughts here on, I don't even know if I really want to bring this up, but so the Judgment Day thing happened with the promo with Belair, right? And they said something that we all agree. He said we had to get rid of Edge because he's full of shit and we're all equals, right? I like that. But now I'm at a point where I think to myself, okay, that's great. And I love that. But only one of you can become world champion. Only one of the men.
Two. Rhea could, and then one of the men.
Sure, yeah. But then the other guy gets the U.S. title. It's like, or they go for the tag titles. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But I feel like somebody in this group needs to have a world title. I mean, obviously, Priest isn't going to be.
It ain't happening anytime soon, though, because you got fucking Tribal Cuck over there holding both of them.
Yeah.
And the U.S. title's a little busy right now with posing off. So it's. I think the perfect thing for Money in the Bank is that both of these guys I could easily see in the ladder match. But I think I think it's pretty little early to do this. But like if you want to do a little dissension, maybe one of them gets in and one of them doesn't. But
right.
I would think. The men's Money in the Bank. We're assuming Sheamus and Drew will be in it. So that's 2. That leaves 5 slots. Rollins is in it, so that leaves 4. I wouldn't be surprised if AJ got himself back in. Omos is probably going to be in it too. So there we go. That does that leave 3, technically, and there'll probably be one more on SmackDown. Whether maybe Ricochet gets in, so at least kind of 2 on Raw. So maybe it's these 2, maybe it's Ezekiel, maybe it's KO. So there is actually more contenders than you think. Hell, they could throw fucking Mysterio in it because that's what they do. But who knows? That's the thing. There are a lot of guys, but so it feels like only one of these guys might get into Money in the Bank. So maybe neither of them do, but then it's like, what are they doing? Because the tag titles are a little busy with the Usos and the Profits. So, and there's no real baby faces unless if they just randomly fight AJ and someone else again, if AJ is truly not in it. So I don't know. It's weird because now that I think about it, maybe both can't be in. So which one would you put in? I would assume Priest more the upside, but Balor's more of like the established. So
I think people get more excited for Balor no matter what.
Balor's one of the most over people ever, but
right. So it's a
they want him to get booed though, so I feel like you don't want to put him in a ladder match.
Well, Priest would be good just because of the kaboom of the week. He'll take a crazy spot, so that's fine. Our boy Joe Pollock, the Joe Stopper, says Shineworthy, Big E throwing away the neck brace. I agree, Joe Stopper. I think that's a wonderful thing. Obviously, we want to see. I think Big E should never wrestle again. That doesn't mean he shouldn't be on my TV. I just think as a human being, I want to see him make sure he can walk and have a good time. So it's awesome that he is there. He's taking off the neck brace, and hopefully he's doing what he can only do. But again, people have broken their necks before and come back. So who knows? I just want the guy to have a good quality of life. You know what? Speaking of quality of life, I'm going to end on this one. I think is my last shine here. I did not expect that I was going to love Austin Theory with a mic. The
headset mic was perfect.
Oh,
it was
my
like
God.
one of those workout guys.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
But the fact that my favorite part is I got to back up because this is my favorite part. My favorite part of the entire thing is his first pose, and he goes, how do you like that, Bobby? And I just started dying. I was like, just the way he said, Bobby, like this guy is a star. He's an absolute stud. And I was like, I cannot wait for this guy to finally reach the top of the mountain. Like I'm in. I am in so much with like everything they're doing. I mean, I don't love the idea of Lashley in the United States Championship. That wants me, I want to vomit over that.
But I think it, especially if he's not going to be challenging Roman, and if the plan is that maybe they do have to take this thing off Theory because he doesn't need it against Cena, and it's just to give something Lashley who's super over, and it's like someone again who like much like Gunther, but on the other side of the coin is a babyface can like main event a show. I think it could make sense. I do assume that Theory might snake away from it because I think Theory Cena with the title is still intriguing, but I am curious how they do it though. But I don't know. This is a fun matchup. And when I saw Pose Down, you always kind of roll your eyes because it's like, oh man. But like Theory sold this segment to me and it was a lot of fun. And Lashley didn't have to do much talking and he just got over by like being likable. And I think that's what you want in this type of situation is that Theory brings out the best in Bobby. And I thought like Pierce for his little thing at the beginning, like get on the damn podium and Theory throwing like, come on. I thought like, it was just like, it was a well done segment for something that I thought would be dumb. And I rolled my eyes that it was the main event. I enjoyed it too. I enjoyed this segment. It was fun.
Yeah, I agree. So I agree. I just think that Austin Theory, is just, he's knocking it out of the park. Like he's swishing. He makes that shot. And the other thing is John Cena coming back in 2 weeks. I expect next week to be heavy Theory, because they're lining up for that interaction. I think on the 20th anniversary of the, boop, 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 coming back. Our boy Milana Fantastic, Mr. Well, I guess it's Davis Wright for most people, but Ryan Milana Fanny says, thoughts on not having former Money in the Bank winners in the match?
I don't mind it because I think it adds something, especially when I look at this year in particular. Like you disqualify Seth, and I do not want to disqualify Seth from this matchup. And then again, you look at the other side of the coin for the women's match, like you wouldn't have many people to choose from because there's a smaller roster. So it'd be like, oh, like the Xia Lees and the Shotzi's who I don't know if they just have, or the Leahs who don't have enough momentum to get in there.
So I kind of agree with you, but I also kind of agree with my buddy Ryan here because here's the thing, right? In theory, no pun intended, this Money in the Bank, or at least for most of us, we believe the Money in the Bank is that breaking through the glass ceiling moment. That
can be.
Right? So like a lot of the way they frame it, the way that they make it seem like it's your golden ticket, Charlie, like that's how they frame it. And I kind of agree with Ryan in that if you have people who have already gotten to the mountaintop, obviously there's exceptions because Seth is going to be the guy that does it. But I do like the idea of cheering for the guy that I've always cheered for, like a Cesaro, or cheering for somebody that I just was like, oh, Liv, like that'd be great to see her get her moment finally. Like the Royal Rumble has become less and less and less the long journey.
It never really has been though. There are some you can point to, but overall, like the Rumble, because I feel like we do have this conversation. I say it about the Rumble too, but it really, like if we look at it over the history, it really hasn't been. It's a lot of those where Money in the Bank, yeah, it is, but it's also like what we can say, like breaking through the glass ceiling. I also think it's another way for a guy to break back through that ceiling that maybe like a guy like Seth, he hasn't been able to reclaim that title and he has been kind of stuck down. And this is something that can push him back through. Or well, obviously because we see all the time where they give it to like a Sandow or an Otis, but then they don't want to pull the trigger. So the Otis they threw on a Miz and then he did it again. But it's just like, I mean, granted, every now and then you're going to have people fail, but like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like if you do that, and especially if we look at the women's side, like, yeah, Liv would be great. I think that'd be great. But it's like, if you're putting it in with a bunch of others, I don't know. I feel like, especially like this year when we know Roman's not going to be on it, you really need the star power in this match. So I don't mind the mix. I like that there's always a few mix of like the newbies and like the experience, because I think in anything, like having balance and like variety of different types of backgrounds and experience, I think just makes for a more intriguing match, in my opinion.
Your boy Wesley, he says, it's on my lunch break. Did I miss the Gunther talk?
It led the show, baby.
It led the show, bud. Come on. Be better. We love you. Don't worry about it.
Like the first 5 minutes, you can go back and listen because it was we were on your knees.
It was heavy Gunt.
On our knees.
Heavy Gunt.
Heavy Gunta.
Starring Regina. I can't do the
Hanara.
I can't do it. But yes, go back to the first 5 minutes. It was all Gunther later. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. I think it's Shine is over. Should we get Heaty? Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Yeah. Well, there's a lot we could talk about. I'm gonna stay in my lane because there are things that I could get on my soapbox about that are not necessarily wrestling related. I need to get into this very quickly. is Ronda Rousey. Every time she opens her mouth, she says something stupid. You know, it's like when she does the, so you want a shot ski? Okay, ski.
It's something you would say, honestly.
I know,
I'm surprised you don't like it.
No. Look, I just want to say this. By the way, he says your pythons look sick.
If you watched the video from earlier in the show, I did a little pose.
He also did a pose down. So there's a lot going on here. You got to get in while we get in. We got to promote better. That's on me. My life is
today. It's my fault because these losers kept me at work until 2 a.m. So I didn't watch Ronda this morning. So I had to delay. It's my fault this week.
Anyway, what was I going to say? We were talking about, Ronda
Rousey. Girl, Ronda.
Okay, ski. So not only did, 3 years ago, she did the whole gumption thing. And now she's doing okay, ski. It's like the spectrum for stupidity is just so far wide with her. I just don't understand what the hell comes out of her goddamn mouth, JC. It hurts my feelings, hurts my soul, because every time she talks, I just think I want her to have a manager. Paul Heyman would be great, but anybody talk for. If it was Maximum Male Models, not going to happen. But
she's not a male.
She's not a male. Which, again, they shoehorned him with that. And obviously they put
who would be a great manager for Ronda Rousey? Paul fucking Heyman. Right. And especially if fucking the tribal cock isn't going to show up to work, then you know what, Paul? Ditch him. Ditch that loser for Ronda Rousey. But I mean, this was like, obviously Paige is done with WWE now, which is sad. Hopefully she comes back in some shape or form someday. But she had been pitching for since Ronda's first run to be her manager. And I don't know if that's like the perfect fit because they kind of seem like they're polar opposites and everything, which maybe that's why it would work. But it would just I think Paige had the right idea. Give Ronda a fucking manager. She's a fucking badass, man. She shouldn't be asked to go out there and talk with her little G Unit promos. It's just and then what's so a shame about this is that I actually enjoyed her and Shotzi's match. It was nice to see Shotzi featured a little bit and get an opportunity against someone like Ronda and some spotlight, but it's just overshadowed because they just tried to have her entertain me. And guess what, man? If you put a fucking mic in Ronda's face and she says more than 3 words, I ain't going to be entertained. Her best promos are when she grabs it, says something badass like you fucking bitch, and boom, we're done. That's
right.
Perfect.
She has to say.
That's all she needs to do. She's a fighter. She's an ass kicker. She's a killer. She shouldn't have to talk and explain to me about, Shotski, okay, ski. It's cringe.
So we need to make a jobber knocker shirt with the Roddy Piper lettering that just says random words of discouragement, ... bitch. That's all she needs to do. That's it. It's stupid. It's if an idiot like me can figure that out, why does somebody up in Stamford, Connecticut get paid a boatload of money to sit there and say, we got to have her talk. We got to have her talk. You don't have to have her talk. She's there. She's physically there. Just add the spice at the end of the promo and call somebody a bitch and then put them in an arm bar and an ankle lock, call it a night, call everybody and you'll be done. Shotzi did a great job. Great aggression. That match was fantastic. But before I'm watching it, JC, and all I could think about was I can't get into this matchup because everything she does, I'm like, okay, ski. Okay. I should have labeled this whole show okay, ski, because it burrowed into my stupid brain. Okay, ski.
Yeah, not great, Bob. It's not.
All right, let's move on to something else that got you upset. Anything specific?
Well, we kind of danced around this when we talked about Becky, but it's just she's supposed to have a match for the 24/7 title with Dana, which fine, whatever. We're doing this again. We know Becky needs to get her shit back, but she beats the shit out of Dana and she goes, "Keep your stupid fucking title." I don't care. It's just they did this with KO before. I remember when he helped R-Truth win it. It's just you're just once again, and I know the title doesn't matter, but it's just you're reaffirming that this title is useless, and if you fight for it, you're fucking useless. And it's just
it's upsetting. It's really upsetting.
Win it. Just have her win it and then throw it in the trash. That would have been better.
You know what was really funny to me was that we had a women's tag match on Raw, not for titles, but for qualifying for Money in the Bank.
Hey, the team that won though could be the team that could put a little life in and maybe bringing those titles back at some point.
I believe either those things are done for good or they are not coming back until the other two come back.
I mean, literally, the more time passes and the more they originally said there was a tournament, ignored it. It just once again reaffirms Sasha and Naomi's the reason why they did it, because it just this is par for the course. You know what? So it's a shame. But I think like if they do bring it back once we get through Money in the Bank, obviously these are two of the teams here. Shannon and Natalia, I think, are still a team. Carmella and Zelina, I think Zelina's injured. But like Liv and Alexa, they're two of your more popular acts. Like people have been clamoring for them together forever. Like, oh, this past week, that's all I heard about. So they did it. So if they want to, Jesus. I think
don't die. I mean, we're only 35 minutes in, man. Take a sip. Take a sip. Take a sip. Hydrate. 2468. Don't forget to hydrate. So I've been watching a lot of Doc McStuffins with my kids. That's a song. Anyway, Doc McStuffins. I don't know what that is. Yeah, well, you'll get there. You'll get there someday. So look, I will tell you this much. There's not a lot more that's Heat related, I think, but I do want to bring this up.
I have one once you're done.
Okay, Riddle having to talk to Heyman and it being a stipulation on if he doesn't win, he can't challenge for it again, but if he wins, he becomes the champion. I always feel like these things are one-sided, and I feel like sometimes it takes me directly out of it because I think the best stipulations are when you can't call it. Like, we kind of know that Riddle's just not going to win.
Yeah, but what if he wins by fucking DQ or count out?
See, I think that's...
If they kick the can down the road, I could see... When they add that stipulation, that's what it screamed to me. Because when at first I was like, okay, Roman's just going to beat him in a good match and we're done. We're done. But by them adding this stipulation, I was like, sure, that could still happen. But now it's just like they open the door for fucking Riddle to win by and not win the title and some bullshit. And they can be like, oh yeah, Roman will defend against Riddle in 6 months when he comes back again. It's just, it's nauseating. So I agree, but for different reasons.
I would also like to say that I also in my head have that he beats them. They beat the shit out of him, right? All three of them. They beat up Riddle. And then Randy Orton has to come back and avenge his buddy. So I feel
I don't
like
think he's ready yet, though.
No. But I mean, like so if you had to get, let's work backwards. You get to Roman and Roman and Orton at SummerSlam, right? Yep. So we don't have anything after Money in the Bank, I don't believe. So you would think at some point Riddle would then have to have another match for Randy Orton to come back and avenge his buddy. So that would be my thought. But who the hell knows? Because you can't, honestly, I don't think you can take Riddle off TV if Randy's not on TV. You need to have one of them on TV.
Yeah, no, I don't think Riddle was going anywhere. Maybe this is a way to just keep him off SmackDown and he goes to Raw and does something. I'm looking at the pay-per-view schedule. Yeah, there's nothing. July 2nd, Money in the Bank. July 30th is SummerSlam. I didn't realize it was technically in July this year.
They don't normally do that, folks. So
it's usually August, like mid-August.
So they're really pushing for that Castle one. Wow.
Well, the Castle one's September 3rd. So yeah, there's almost a whole month between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, and then a whole month between SummerSlam and Castle. So,
wow.
It is. This is the least amount of pay-per-views they've had because then October's Crown Jewel and November's Survivor Series. That's all they have listed so far. I'm assuming there'll be something in December, unless if it goes to day one from there. Actually, who knows?
TLC, who knows?
So they did really cut back on there. What do they call them now? Premium live events?
Premium live events.
Yeah, which I don't mind because it makes the TV more. Because look, we're getting a Universal Championship on TV this week. That's, I think, a positive. But we're still in the heat. And I have one more thing, Nestlemania. I need a prayer circle for my boy, Cedric Alexander. Not only did he lose to MVP, but I believe it was
pew pew pew, a jobber alert.
I'm a sad boy today. I was so thrilled. I was like, you know what? Cedric, he's getting an entrance. He had a full entrance. He looks great. He got some new gear. I'm like, yeah, Cedric's going to pick up a big win. Finally, it's already over. Which, I mean, granted, Omos had to help MVP cheat to win. I know, but it's just like, it makes me sad, man. Because you know what? MVP, he probably hasn't won a match in forever. So maybe this is just them giving him one. But he usually, he goes out there to lose normally.
So well, Jericho did call him a jobber, so.
Yeah, so I think that's the motivation, which I'm team MVP on this one because we know Jericho's an asshole. And MVP is a lot cooler than Jericho is right now because MVP is actually helping to elevate talent where Jericho's bringing talent down. So
he is an anchor. He is an anchor.
Yeah.
No, not like a news anchor. I mean, like an anchor.
Like an anchor, but it's not anchoring people. It's actually sinking them because the rope is too short and pulling the boat underwater.
The SS Flabby Jericho.
He's not flabby anymore, though. I'll give
that's, well, his boobies are, though.
Well, you know.
For all the money he has in the world, he doesn't get that fixed.
Would you? I'd spend my money on that. He probably. If I was Chris Jericho and I would fucking, he can do whatever he wants. Unfortunately.
I'm just saying the man looks good from a certain point. Like here, then you have the big gap, then down in the abs, and then the rest of the body, whatever. But why not complete the puzzle? That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. All right. You want to get hopeful? You want to move on to something else?
Glorious. You are my only hope. Are we both going to AEW for our hopes or just me?
I will let you go to AEW. I gotta.
I'm going to AEW because Nestlemania, as we know, in AEW, everyone gets a title. So you know what? Not only do we going to have interim titles, so there's even more champions and co-champions. We're going to add a brand new mid-card title called the All Atlantic Championship, which actually I think is a cool idea. But I just assume, like, if you're going to do that, get rid of the TNT title and make it the same thing. But I digress. But yeah, as we saw, it's going to be a fatal four-way at Forbidden Door. There's qualifying matchups. Somebody already qualified. I believe Pac already qualified last week. Miro takes on Ethan Page this week. And here's my hope. You know where this is going. The Redeemer, give him a fucking title. If you're handing out titles in AEW, you better give one of the best mid-card champion in AEW history. Better get this one. Because you know what? Miro's a stud. If you're not going to give him the world championship, and if the TNT championship should be on Sky for a little while, why not have Miro do it? I know you have a soft spot for Ethan Page, as do I, but he's getting redeemed on Wednesday, baby. And those other three men in that fatal four-way at Forbidden Door, it's going to be forbidden that they can win because they're getting redeemed too, motherfuckers. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag Miro equal champion. Hashtag make it happen, Tony. Since you just I got Adam Cole and Britt Baker walking around with fucking belts. Everyone has fucking belts in this company. It's ridiculous. And then you're gonna be like, oh, WWE has a lot of belts. WWE has like fucking 10 times as much programming. Their 3 hours of Raw is just as long as Dynamite and Rampage combined. And then there's 2 hours in NXT, an hour of NXT UK, 2 hours of fucking SmackDown. Then you have main event and the Level Up show, which granted you can compare to Dark and Elevation. Fine, those cancel out. It's still like 10 hours to 3. So the amount of titles and then you have all the fucking Ring of Honor titles. Good God, that's part 2 of my hope. Get rid of some of your fucking titles. Take those Ring of Honor titles and throw them onto a show somewhere else. Get them out of here, AEW. Too many titles. Hashtag give Miro the championship, though.
That was a good rant.
I wasn't expecting to get in a title rant there, but it just, the more I talk about it, the more I get angry because I see people complaining about, no, I don't have too many. They do have too many titles. They have the FTW title too on Ricky Starks, which gets defended once in a blue moon. And I think it's recognized by AEW, but I don't know if it's recognized. It's a lot of mid-card singles titles. It really is.
I would just like to point out that the Mid-Atlantic or All Atlantic, it was like All Atlantic?
All Atlantic. Put some respect on this made-up titles name.
Somebody pointed out to me that there's a match from New Japan. It's like Japan's in the Pacific Ocean. This is the All Atlantic Ocean. It should be countries that are neighboring the Atlantic. I'm just throwing. Obviously, we've got Forbidden Door. It just seems like a bad time. I'm just saying.
Well, as we know, Tony Khan is great at timing.
Well, speaking of my timing and hope, so obviously, if you've been reading the news, I'm going to stay away from this because I don't like to touch these things. There's a ladder match happening in AEW. One of those combatants will probably not be there because of their indiscretions. So that leaves a big void. I don't know if we're going to go Young Bucks versus Jurassic Park versus nobody, or they might as well be. So here's my hope. We're all looking for it. We all want it to happen. We all want Christian to turn on Jungle Boy.
Get away from the fucking dinosaur, Christian.
Get away from that dinosaur.
Before he gets extinct. Get away.
He's pushing 50. His hairline's going back to his neck.
He's a handsome devil.
He is a handsome man. He looks like a rat. Vince McMahon said he looked like a handsome rat. Anyway.
That is pretty good, actually.
So where's the cheese? Here's my hope is that Mr. Peepers, he teams up with Matt Hardy, and we go ape shit TLC style because you fill the void and you just say, you know what, Jungle Boy, I'm sick of your shit. And you know what? Anna Jay's making you weak in the knees. I'm going to take those championships. And of course, I don't know if I would give the championships to Matt and Christian. I would rather give them to the Young Bucks personally because they're the Young Bucks and they're the only one in this matchup that I actually give a shit about. But that's my hope because you got put in a bad situation. Unless you can put a random tag team in there that you think that would be better than the Hardy Boys. I don't know. I mean, I'll throw it out to people that are watching and listening here. If you think there's a better one, please let me know. That's in AEW anyway. I mean, I thought about Swerve. I thought about, your boy Keith Lee, but that they kind of just already did their thing there. If it's Red Dragon, I'm going to vomit.
I'll be vomiting.
So Oh, Gun Club. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, dog.
Hey,
Gun
hey,
Club.
you know what? Max Caster and Anthony Bowens have made the Gun Club the coolest fucking thing on AEW. So I'm in. Yes, Dom. I like it. I actually really like your Matt Hardy Christian thing because I think the storyline's there with, obviously we know they have a little bit of a history, but also like the fact that his Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are like friends with Christian and a team with Christian. I think that works, but hey, you know what? If you want to add some spice and entertainment to it, you just do the instant scissor me, daddy.
Private Party goes the Joe Stopper. They haven't been
forgot
relevant.
They even existed.
Yeah,
and
they haven't been relevant.
Indictment on you, Tony Khan. You motherfucker.
I was gonna go look up the AEW rankings
Remember
to find
when
out.
AFO used to be a thing and HFO and all this fucking FO? Well, now it's just F dead.
Now it's just get the fuck out, right? Is that what it's called, or GTFO?
Yeah, no, Private Party. I don't know if this is the spot for them because like they just like don't exist right now.
I'm trying to find the rankings so I could find out who the hell the fucking tag teams are, but let's see. Okay, well, the rankings state here that
FTR is probably number one, and they never get title. As they tweeted, Dax tweeted like there's been like pretty much for like this past 3 months, except for 1 week, they've been the number one team and they haven't got a shot.
Well,
but
that's
they're
obviously
playing. They're playing with the Japan boys right now, so
they need their theme back. I agree, but that's probably not going to happen because nobody cares, right? Nobody cares about Private Party. It's just a private party.
Those of us that were in Boston that night they beat the Young Bucks will never forget them, and they became a fan for them for life. So Tony Khan, either use them or set them free so they can go to WWE, a place that would actually use them.
So we were back. So I am interested. I think so here's the problem. What isn't there like something ridiculous this week? It's like Road Rager or whatever the hell it's called. It's called something.
Yeah, and we're having a hair versus hair match, which I know you get all boned up for. Jericho and Ortiz.
Listen, can I just
Wardlow's taking on 20 dudes. It sounds like a porn, but
yeah, right?
That's a match.
Wardlow's World sounds like a porn too, but that's beside the point. So here's my hope, right? Like that happens, but now I'm thinking that the Young Bucks aren't going to fucking win, and it's just going to keep going back to the Jurassic nonsense.
I actually honestly was thinking about picking the Hardys. I thought like one of those things because it was kind of like the CM Punk, like if not now, when? And we know like we can say what we want. Obviously, with what happened is, it happened. But just like my observation since Jeff had come there is the Hardys are one of the biggest draws for AEW. Like I know when they came here, like everyone I talked to was like a casual fan. They want to see the Hardys and Sting. So it's like the Hardys together, even though they're fucking geriatric and old, they're still a huge draw. So I really thought that they might actually win the titles. Obviously, now we're assuming that they will not be part of this match, or at least one of them won't be. That's the premise of your hope. But yeah, no, I really thought that it might be a chance because I really like Jurassic Express. They're good wrestlers, but like their reign, they've had a lot of really good matches, but it's just like there's nothing extra with them, and they're just cucking Christian. So I think it's time to move on.
So this is the June 1st rankings. I couldn't bring up last week's rankings. I apologize. I'm a little slow to trigger, but it had Jungle Nonsense, and then it had FTR, then your Big Black Cock or whatever the hell it's called, BBC, the British Combat Club or whatever the fuck it's called. What is it? The
BCC.
Yeah, whatever. And then the Hardy Boys, then Powerhouse and your boy Ricky, and then of course the Keith Lee Swerve Express.
Are they the team anymore? Swerve eliminated Keith in the Battle Royal. Like, break them up. Like, both those guys are way better on their own. Christ, what are we doing, Tony? You have enough tag teams you're not using, like Private Party. Stop making hodgepodge tag teams. Like, if this was a WWE, people would be throwing a tantrum.
It's true.
WWE never put Keith Lee in a fucking shitty tag team.
Well, no,
and when they did it with Swerve, they made him the leader.
All right,
Think about that.
We're off the rails here.
Well, always. Are we comebacking?
We can get our comeback on.
I'm calling a comeback. He's been here for years. The phenomenal AJ Styles. It was nice to see him wrestle. I really enjoyed this match with Seth. There wasn't a lot of like real comeback things this week, so I'm like, I feel like AJ's been kind of like an afterthought, even in the stuff with Edge. Like it was more about them. And then I always felt like Finn and Liv were the more fun part of that team, where AJ was just like the cool dad, like the cool soccer mom dad or whatever. But it was nice to see AJ on his own and just be reminded how fucking good he is. Who knows if he's going to end up in this ladder match, but who knows? Maybe he has time off because we know AJ is pretty much part-timer at this point. He can do what he wants. He's got that sweet deal, as he should. So I re-signed WWE, get rich, chill, go to some shows, have some fun, wrestle some fun matches, go home to his family where he wants to be. So who knows? Maybe that's why he's not in it, or maybe he'll still get in it because it's WWE, and you never know. But it was nice to see him and Seth have a nice long match. We obviously talked about the Seth stuff earlier, but it takes two to tango, and I thought that match was great. My match of the week, and it was a lot of fun. So AJ Styles, you're phenomenal, and you get my comeback.
That's great. So I have a question
No.
for you. So do you think they need to like break up the whole idea of that wrestling is, I mean, we can talk about wrestling being seasons and stuff. That's never going to work. But I feel like what they should do is invest in the younger guys, because it seems like all the people who have children or just want time off from like June, July, all the way to August, September. And then all the real people, I say real, all the heavy hitters come back, and I feel like that's the time to take chances on people who don't have children or don't want children or are dedicated to this craft. And like, cause Randy Orton, he's gone and he might come back by the end of the summer. Great. Wonderful. Not, but like Roman Reigns clearly is on his island of relevancy. And he says they got to get on a private boat, to get on a private plane, just to kick this jackass and go back to the island. Like, I get that, but you should really invest. I think you should invest in the younger people from June to September. I think that's a great, I mean, obviously nobody's watching anyway, so why not take the jump?
Well, how about this? I think they kind of are right now. Is we have, obviously, we look at the mid-card titles, Gunther, new champ, and then Theory. Like, those are two guys that are new that they're elevating. Obviously, Rhea and Bianca are like your future of the division for decades and decades. That's your main thing on Raw right now. So I think they're investing some there. I think there are definitely spots like Riddle. I mean, they're taking a chance on Riddle right now. He's a fucking main event guy going for the title. So I think to an extent they are doing that, but I think it's kind of like when I talked about the Money in the Bank ladder match earlier. You still need a little bit of balance. That's why it's like, I still like having a Lashley mixing with Theory, because you get the veteran versus the youth. And I love the Lashley's best line in probably fucking 2 months was, "Sorry, kid, I'm taking your title." I was like, great. I was like, that was great, because it was a little demeaning to Theory, because Lashley is the bigger, stronger, more experienced man versus a young, cocky kid. So I thought that was perfect. I know, exactly. Dom, Nestle, who fucking sucks AJ Styles' jock all day, no sells him as my comeback. The disrespect. What is wrong with you?
Here's something that's going to throw everybody for the loop. My comeback this week goes to, I'm just going to throw it out here. I'm actually excited when I saw this graphic. I'm going to give it to Sheamus and Mac, because I love when it's like, I don't give a fuck about what McIntyre does 99.9% of the time. But when you tell me Sheamus versus McIntyre's happen, you goddamn right I'm sitting down. You goddamn right I am excited. And I love it.
Have you seen that meme where you always see it under pictures of a girl posting a thirst trap? It's just some guy licking his phone. I picture like when McIntyre and Sheamus go to wrestle, I picture you licking your TV. You're that excited.
Well, I would probably get electrocuted, wouldn't I?
For licking a TV? No.
Well, maybe
like if you lick the socket, maybe. But if you're just like licking the screen, you might get a little like maybe a shock. Probably not. Do
you know me? You know I don't like germs. Why would I lick a television that my kids sneeze on?
It's your TV.
But do you know how gross a TV is? Do you know how
like anything else in your house is dust? That's it.
It's dust. It's sneezing. It's coughing.
You sneeze and cough on your TV.
No, I'm just saying.
Do you watch TV like this?
Listen. I have children that just do what they want.
Do they lick the TV? Probably not. They probably can't reach it yet.
No, but they throw shit at it.
Like what?
They got an arm. I can't help it.
What do they throw on it? That would be so gross to lick. Food? You eat food?
Yeah, but they might throw a snack or something in the air. You don't know.
You don't like snacks?
Oh my God! Look,
Snacks Nestle doesn't like snacks now.
Who the hell
is snack
who
shamer?
The fuck is Adam? Looking around. Anybody here? Nope. Nobody named Adam.
Please crunchify me, Captain.
Crunchify me, Captain. By the way, he said that to me like almost the first fucking day he met me. He said, "Crunchify me, Captain."
Crunchwrap Supreme, baby.
Crunchwrap Supreme. I forgot about that one too. Double scoops. JC has your back with double scoops. For fuck's sake.
I mean, you're the one who no-sold AJ Styles, which is probably the most anti-Nestle thing you've ever done.
Listen,
so I don't know what your deal is right now.
You won't.
You're too scared to eat snacks. You don't like AJ Styles. Like, what is wrong with you? This is Banana Land.
He didn't win.
Who cares?
Why waste a comeback on somebody that didn't win?
You gave your comeback to two guys who also didn't win. So you did double what I did. So you're double a moron. I gave it to one loser. You gave it to two. Because it was a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Who qualified from that match? Zero. Because they both fucking lost. They got double DQ'd or count out or whatever. You gave your comeback to two losers.
They did not lose. It is a pausing
win.
It was a pausing. It was a pausing.
Yeah, but they both lost.
Pause.
AJ could be paused too.
Hold on.
Moron.
If they get in, if they both get in, like somebody, I believe. Hold on. That guy. There you go. That guy over there. I'll figure out the camera. That guy over there said, I think McIntyre and Sheamus will get in.
I will, but right now they're not.
Then it
So they're
doesn't
both
matter.
losers.
AJ Styles is not
might
getting
still
in
get
that Money in the
too.
Bank match.
Oh, Nestlemania. I only picked one loser. You picked two. I win. You lose. See ya.
Listen.
Go taking a jack off.
Listen. AJ Styles will not get in that Money in the Bank matchup. You can listen. Look at these babies. All right, look. There's your pose down, Wes. If you're still watching, it hurts. I think I just pulled something. Anyway. It is hot, but to be answering your question, AJ Styles will absolutely, positively not be in the Money in the Bank.
Oh, you just cursed him into it.
He's not doing it. He's not. I refuse to believe that AJ Styles is going to be in this thing. Are you chapping your ass to kiss something, or what are you doing?
I chap my lips, not my ass.
Well, my
ass
ass might be chapped after this one. Jesus Christ. By the way, go to the Jobberknocker. Go to fucking tpublic.com/Jobberknocker to pick up this Jobberknocker Sega tee because Jobber. All right. Anyway, where are we?
We should just go to the finish.
Let's finish this.
We both gave our comebacks to losers. So we're going to go to the big old finish. On SmackDown this week, we've talked about it, Roman Riddle Universal title, but Nestlemania. We have a last laugh match between Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. What are your expectations for this?
I think this is a decorated last man standing match. At least that's what I'm hoping for, JC, because if it's not, what the fuck are we doing here? If it's stand-up comedy, we're both going to be shitting our pants with no laughter. It's going to be an awful thing.
It's going to be a fight. I'm probably going to enjoy it. On Raw, we have a women's Money in the Bank qualifier between Becky Lynch and Asuka, which we discussed, but also Nestlemania. We didn't discuss this. The return of Elias in concert form next week. How the fuck are they going to pull this off?
I mean, you're going to watch, right? That's the whole point. You're going to watch.
You know I'm in on this. This is right up my alley. It's nonsense. I love it.
So here's the other Detective Nestle part that nobody else brought up. If you look on social, Aaron Sandow tweeted out that he was done with, quotes, professional wrestling. I'm hoping to Christ he shows
be a perfect Elias.
As Elias or as the other, like, whatever. It doesn't matter. It would work. And it would be phenomenal. It would.
This is my cousin, Sandias. Damias, Damianias. I don't know.
I mean, are they going to put a beard on him? Like, what are they going to do?
I don't know.
He can't grow a beard that quickly in a week. Can he?
I don't know. I don't care either way. I'm fucking excited for it. I am thrilled that they're already going here. I thought this would be a little down the line, but like, well, I'm ready for it, man. KO and Ezekiel, I am eating all that up, baby. All of it up.
This is going to be interesting either one way or the other. I think this is where the culmination of this entire thing is going to happen. So
absolutely. I'm excited. We also, tonight, Tuesday, if you're listening after, well, it already happened, but NXT, we have a tag team title match between the Creeds and Blade and Nafe. That'll be an easy Creeds win. We have a 6-woman tag between Toxic Attraction against Roxanne, Cora, and Indy. And then we have the in-ring debut of what Joe Gacy is calling the dyad, his 2 hooded figures that have been following him around.
The grizzled young veterans.
I know it makes me sad because I love them, but I'm glad they're still employed.
The grizzled young hoodlums.
Dyad. The hooded young veterans.
The satin sheet warriors. That's what they look like to me. Like they're just like druids that are in satin. Comfy. Slippery, perhaps. Nonsense. Who gives a shit?
I give a shit because I love Gibson.
6-woman tag. I mean,
I mean, it's like the coolest woman in NXT.
Yeah,
so.
but
people are gonna eat it up.
Nobody fucking cares. It'll be a good time. All right, let's move on. Most NXT is kind of a if. I
don't know. Most NXT is just fucking fun, man.
It is
even
fun.
Like the shit that looks lame like this, it's still gonna be fun because there might be a fucking random pillow fight in the middle of the match. You're gonna have Gigi Dolan and Mandy Rose like.
We did not discuss the Apollo Crews in the room, by the way.
Yeah, Apollo Crews is back in NXT. Well, I don't think he's advertised for anything this week, but he's your
Apollo!
boy. A once former cursed Nestle guy. He uncursed him. Then he had a great title reign at WrestleMania and beat Big E. So are you going to curse him again? You're going to let this man live his life.
Why does this man not have an accent anymore? Why does he not have an Aziz?
I know. Guthrie, how do you feel about your boy no longer commanding anywhere?
The hell? I don't know. What is he trying to say? What?
Androgyny.
Oh, androgyny. Okay. It's different when you see it in all caps. Androgynous. I don't know. I just there's so much in this. Oh, isn't your boy the other Imperium dude?
Oh,
Debuting?
that's right. His new name
Valencio?
is Giovanni Vinci. Vinci.
Vinny
I'm excited for
Vici.
this.
Watch,
hey,
watch his
I love
career.
having more Italians on the show, baby. No, you kidding me? This guy's got a solo gimmick now. He's probably gonna come out in a fancy car. He's gonna have champagne. He's gonna be all like fancy. He's probably gonna have ladies on him. Fucking, he's gonna be Imperium minning himself everywhere. But yeah, hey, you know what? The more Italians on NXT, the better. Because one of the dimes got dropped, so I think it's only 1 dimes for Tony D now. So
there's a stack. He's got stacks. He's got stacks.
Yeah, he doesn't have stacks of dimes anymore though. He just has stacks.
Just stacks. Which honestly, Stacks was the guy I was watching anyway. Out of the 3,
I
honestly
honestly
didn't
know which was which. Couldn't tell you.
Stacks is the one with the ears. He has weird ears. I don't know why. What? What?
I don't know. I love that you love a guy that has weird ears.
I listen. There are characteristics of people that you just in your mind it's melted in there. That's what it is.
Yeah, Dumbo, Pinocchio, you know. But we go to AEW now. We talked about the ladder match. We'll see how that unfolds. We talked about Wardlow taking 20 dudes in 20 dudes, 1 reign. We have a hair versus hair Jericho and Ortiz that, like, I honestly don't give a fuck. I'm assuming Ortiz will win. And then we have the All-Atlantic qualifier to Miro and Page.
First off, Chris Jericho is not going to lose his hair on free TV.
Do so much better. What are you gonna do with a bald Ortiz? You might as well let them go to WWE too, because Tony Khan doesn't give a fuck about LAX.
I'm just saying, I would be shocked if Chris Jericho, with his lovely mane, probably
it's not
best
that lovely, it's gross.
# best hair in the biz, loses all of his hair. I would on free TV. Now, if he would do it on a pay-per-view, I'd say yes.
I mean, this is an AEW
TV,
weekly live event or whatever they're gonna call their special.
Oh, nonsense.
What's it called? Road Rager?
Listen, I'm just gonna say this much.
That's not a good title.
Ooh. Yeah, I just realized that.
On me. Yeah.
That's bad timing.
That's uncomfortable. Let's more talk about Jericho's hair some more.
So I would be shocked if Jericho had to shave his head. That's all I'm saying, folks. Not on free TV.
He won't have to. Ortiz is gonna have to shave it for him.
That's what I mean. You said Ortiz was gonna win, and I said that's.
They have to give Santana and Ortiz something. Jericho, they're like, it's hard enough to get this man heat because of his fucking entrance. So fucking shave his head bald, make him ugly. The best heels can get their head shaved. It's just how it is.
Can I just make a comment here that Jericho has like a catalog of 400 songs. Just pick a different song that nobody can sing to.
I mean, it's just the problem is it's like, I don't know, man. It's hard to do.
It's the cool heel nonsense all over again. It doesn't matter. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate the Jericho Appreciation Society.
No appreciation.
It's bad. It's bad. Does anyone enjoy it? Like, I enjoy like
5 of those guys do.
I enjoy 1 or 2 lines of it, and I'm happy Garcia is getting an opportunity. But like, I don't give a fuck about 2.0 when Hager. Like, come on. Does anyone We the People anymore? I don't think so.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I didn't see anything for Rampage. Their Cocaine Cowboy might throw something out next couple days, but
I don't know. I have no idea.
All I have to say is they have too many titles. That's all.
The Mid-Atlantic.
You get a title. You get a title. Everyone gets a title. And Miro better fucking get one.
If Miro doesn't win and it's Pac, do you care?
It's gonna probably be Pac or Malachi Black because they're more Atlantic.
How are they more Atlantic? Because
they're like on the edge.
Bulgaria is not necessarily.
Bulgaria is like an inland country, isn't it?
Where it's not an island or a peninsula. Yeah, you're right.
Well, it's also not on the coast of Europe. I don't think.
Geography was not my bag, baby. I don't know.
Bulgaria world.
This is riveting. You're looking up Bulgaria in Google. It's not even close. It's smack dab in the middle.
No, Bulgaria's more of like the fucking.
Is it the Baltic?
Is it the Black Sea in there?
Black Sea, Baltic.
One of those, yeah.
Red.
No, it's not on It's not part of the Atlantic Ocean. So Malachi Black and Pac, if you don't want your title to be a lie in it, but you know what? If you want to give it to Japan guy or Miro, I'm cool with it. Hell, Ethan Page is Canada. Canada's kind of Atlantic.
Yeah, Canada's near Atlantic.
He's probably from a part of Canada that might be on the way other side, but at least part of Canada's touching the Atlantic.
Exactly. Just be relevant.
Miro. Redeem it, baby. Redeem that title into being worthwhile when you start it with the redeem.
I can't get behind all these championships anyway. And I think Adam Cole and Britt Baker are just so egregious with those fucking stupid things.
They honestly look ridiculous. And I'm like happy that happened, but it's like I would have been fine with a cup and not them carrying around titles. But
It's
whatever.
stupid. It's stupid. It just looks like he's carrying around a replica championship. It doesn't make any damn sense. He's not going to
It looks like yeah. And I love the color pink, but the pink on that title, it looks kind of silly.
I don't know. I can't do this anymore with this stuff. Anything else when it get wrapped up?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah,
all right.
5 stars, 5 flames, and all the podcast apps. Like this video, subscribe. We appreciate it. Tell your friends, share it around. Twitter, follow everyone listed at Jobberknocker, Facebook, Instagram as well. Check out the New Japan show with Conway and Dom, which is on YouTube exclusive. They've been putting out a lot of good stuff there, especially for someone like me who doesn't know shit about that. I see Will Ospreay, and I'm like, oh, good cruiserweight champion, and then I get yelled at. So
I've heard he's Rollins light, so you know
he's not. That's not even. No.
Well, you know, Ospreay is a bird. So
I'm like a bird. I want to fly away.
Nelly Furtado? Don't
Love
know
her.
where my home is. Right. Anyway, so on that note, thank you for listening to the Jobberknocker, folks. We'll be back next week with more Jobberknockery.